Let's talk Tanya for the 20th of Teves. Over the last 2 days, in chapter 13 of Tanya, we've been getting a reality check. The struggler, the Beinoni, has been getting a reality check. Even though that you're doing very well, you're succeeding, you're doing well in your battle against the animal soul. Remember, you're not a tzaddik. You don't have the enemy defeated. You're still a struggler. You're still a Beinoni, and you have to contend with the animal soul. We ended off yesterday with a question: how about during davening? During davening, the tzaddik feels a tremendous love for God, but so does the Beinoni, so does the struggler. That's something which is everyone is able to accomplish that during davening, to experience feelings for God. So is there a qualitative difference between the davening of the tzaddik and the davening of the Beinoni, of the struggler? And the Alter Rebbe's answer is an emphatic yes. Here too, you need a reality check. Your davening is great, but I want you to know, the Alter Rebbe says, that relative to the davening of a tzaddik, the truth in your davening is almost non-existent. And why is that? The concept of truth, as explained in Chassidus, is not something which is true as opposed to false. In the Hebrew alphabet, the first letter is a aleph, the last letter is the taf, and the middle letter is the mem. And those three letters, aleph, mem, and taf, make up the word emes, which tells you emes, truth, is something which is always. It's ever present, it's constant from the beginning to the end. If it's always there, then we know that it's essentially truth, essentially true. Something, however, which is there sometimes yes and sometimes no, that means obviously it's a contingent reality. It's dependent on certain circumstances, and when those circumstances exist, it is there, and if not, it is not there, so it's not essentially true. The tzaddik, their love for God is constant, 24/7, this incredible love for God. That is the ultimate truth. The struggler, because they only experience this love during davening, even while they're experiencing it, it doesn't compare to the truth of the love of the tzaddik, of the feelings and the emotional relationship that the tzaddik has with God. So, for all of us strugglers, are we feeling bad yet? The Tanya says, relax. There's something funny about truth. And that is, although you think it's either true or it's not true, that's actually not the case. There are levels of truth. And always the relevant question is, what is my truth? Every one of us has our truth, and the truth of the struggler is not the same as the truth of the tzaddik. The truth of the Beinoni is that every single morning he or she wakes up and they daven. And when they daven, they awaken and they arouse a feeling of love for God. That is their truth. And that is something, there is no greater or higher expectation from them, because ultimately, when they do that, they've experienced their truth. There's something very interesting in today's Tanya. We know the first section of Tanya is 53 chapters long. In the entire section, in all 53 chapters, there's only one time where in the body of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe refers to himself in first person. And that's in today's Tanya, where the Alter Rebbe says, and I want to read you the line. The Alter Rebbe is talking about the service, the davening of the struggler, of the Beinoni, and he says, V'hareini koire ba'avasam shebetfilasam gamkein sfas emes tikoin la'ad, which translates, I consider the love that they experience in their prayer also. And he quotes a verse, sfas emes tikoin la'ad, which means the edge of truth endures forever. It's the edge of truth. It's not the same level of truth as the tzaddik. It's the edge of truth. But the Alter Rebbe says that is also truth, and that also lasts forever. You know, the Alter Rebbe wrote this book for strugglers. He wrote it for me, he wrote it for you. And these are people, the people for whom he wrote the book, he realized these aren't perfect people. They're not people who are walking around all day, feeling this tremendous ecstatic love for God. And we might think, so what's the point of my davening? What's the point of those feelings that I have for that 45 minutes in the morning when the rest of the day I know where my feelings are? Is there any value to it? And the Alter Rebbe says, I want you to know, Hareini Kaira, I'm putting you on my shoulders. I consider this truth. This one's on me. This is what I am asking you to do. This is what the whole work of Chabad and Chassidus is. Asking you to do the work and to daven properly and to feel that love every single day. And I want you to know, I take responsibility for this one. This one is truth, and this one is on me. With this, we have concluded our discussion about the Beinoni, and in a larger sense, we've concluded our discussion about the three possible outcomes for the battle between the godly soul and the animal soul. First outcome we discussed was the tzaddik. The second outcome is the rasha. And the third outcome is the Beinoni. And in the Beinoni, we had 2 chapters. Chapter 12, describing the Beinoni. Chapter 13, the reality check. And now the question was, okay, so there are 3 possible outcomes. Which one should I be aspiring to? Now, you probably know the answer by now, but tomorrow's Tanya will spell it out clearly.